Welcome to the 62nd episode of the Mayor's Mixtape. I'm Haley Sue Robinson, Director of Public Affairs for the City of Pueblo.
I'm Heather Graham, City of Pueblo Mayor.
Brian McCain, Chief of Staff.
And I want to remind the listener, you can find us on YouTube, Buzzsprout, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. You can email us, mayor@pueblo.us, for your questions or topic suggestions. And we would love to hear from you. Please share it with your friends, neighbors, colleagues. Like, subscribe, and rate the podcast. City Council recap, Mayor. Last night we had a work session, and you actually presented at the work session last night for the voluntary separation program. This is something that you presented to council during their work retreat earlier this year, and so you gave an update of what that looks like, and so I thought maybe we could talk about that a little bit further.
Yeah, so we proposed this voluntary separation agreement to everybody except for police and fire, where we would pay you out based on your years to voluntary retire, separate from the City of Pueblo. So we had 17 applicants originally. Through the process, 5 ended up withdrawing or not wanting to complete the process. So we had 12. The savings for 2026, 6 months and 12 months in 2027 is going to be about $1.7 million to the city in wages and benefits. So it's a large number, a large reduction, and I think we're going to offer this again towards the end of the year because some individuals wanted to take it, but they just didn't have enough time to figure out their benefit situation.
Sure, working through the logistics. So were there more than the 5, do you think? Do you think there were potentially more than...
Yeah, we had a lot of interest in it, and we had a lot of employees share that the timing just wasn't right, and if it was done later in the year, they would find it more acceptable.
Sure,
to be able to do it.
I mean, it's a big decision to retire in general, and then to have an incentive package put in front of you. It's a lot to retire to make that decision to retire. The other thing that you mentioned was that there was conversations with each of the department heads as far as who was going to retire and then what that would look like. Structure-wise, can you talk a little bit about that process?
Yeah, we wanted to make sure that the department would still have the capacity to operate, right? If you are a smaller department and you only have one admin tech, that's not really going to work if your admin tech wants to leave, and then we can't fill that position, right?
Right.
So each of the positions, we went with the directors, talked through what that would look like for other employees to potentially pick up their workload, or directors or deputy directors. And so it was a pretty thorough process before we granted the applications.
So the way that it works is the folks who apply to retire, then you freeze that position within the department.
For a year.
And then that's why we have the salary savings. Right. Okay. And so then that conversation included who within staff would do that work, or how operations would continue. Right. That way the city's still functioning at a high level.
Yep.
Okay. And you mentioned that this may be offered later in the year. So was that a discussion with department heads, or what will that look like kind of moving forward?
We haven't got to that point yet.
Okay.
It was just kind of talked internally with the group, and I let City Council know last night that we might be offering again if it made sense for the city.
Sure. Okay, so the $1.7 million, that's for the remainder of 2026 and for 2027. Yep. And when will these folks retire from the city?
Their last day is either June 15th or June 30th.
Okay, so we'll
this month.
Say thank you to our hardworking employees.
Thanks for your service.
Yeah.
Thanks for helping the city out.
Okay. That's fantastic. I know that you worked closely with HR and with department heads, and so it was not just a easy process to determine.
Yeah. HR really put this together, and it was a good plan. The city did this in 2014.
Okay.
So it was something we dusted off and talked about and are having to bring back because we still have a significant shortfall to try to cover.
And another thing that I wanted to bring up is, so last year for the proposed 2026 budget, you froze, was it 7 positions?
24.
Oh, 24 positions. How many positions now in 2026? Because as people resign, retire, are terminated, you've looked at each of those positions, or even, promotions.
Yeah.
You've looked at those positions. How many positions?
8 so far.
8 more.
Yeah.
Okay, so 8 in addition to the 24. And then 12 from the voluntary separation program.
Yep.
Okay, so that's 46. I'm not very good at math, Mayor, so you didn't hire me to do math.
Yeah.
Neither did the previous administration. That's not my strong suit. So is it 46? Brian, can you help me?
Then we have the
32 plus 8 plus 12.
We have the additional from...
No, 24 plus 8 plus 12.
We have the additional from 24 to 25's budget.
Oh, right. Okay.
So
was that 18?
I think it was 18. So we've had...
Now you're really asking me to do some math.
We've had a lot of
so
frozen,
probably
unfunded, and abolished positions since I've been the mayor. So we've had a huge reduction.
Would you say that's close to like 60?
50,
then?
60, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Some have been reclassified. Like they were positions that were unfunded, but the 18 I'm talking about, the original 18, some of the positions were unfunded, reclassified to other jobs, but their jobs were still open and their titles existed. But the city council did not fund those. So that will skew the amount, but some of those positions were funded out of those original 18. The 24 for 25 to 26, those were funded positions. So it was,
and they have been abolished.
They've just been
or frozen.
Unfunded. So the position still exists. There's no funding allocated
to it.
And that was a $2.4 million savings.
Okay.
And we did that the night the budget passed.
Right. Okay.
And then since then, we've had another 8 that are unfunded, frozen. So still exist, but not being funded.
Got it.
And year to date, that total projection will be $869,000 in savings for the city.
Okay.
For 26.
Got it. Okay. And
we'll
so
have
then
no impact on 27, right? Because we're not funding them for the remainder of 26.
Okay. I think the listener just maybe learned something about how bad my math is. So I do invite anyone to leave a comment of how many...
the math ain't math.
Yeah, of how many positions have been frozen and how much money has been saved. I'm not embarrassed about my math skills, so it's all good.
Yeah. 42.
Okay, thanks for explaining that. I think that's helpful.
Yeah.
Another thing related to the budget, Mayor, you've been hosting budget town halls. You started last week with one. We have another one tonight. And something that was brought up at your town hall was potential ballot measures. You are proposing potentially 4 at 0.25%. So what does that look like, or what does that entail maybe?
Yeah, so we've heard we've had to make reductions in part-time employees, which in turn was reductions in programs like the tennis program, right?
Sure.
And so instead of asking the citizens for an overall tax increase, I have decided to look at breaking 1% down into 4 different categories.
Okay.
So if somebody wanted to use their additional funding to fund like parks, pools, and programs, they could vote yes for that 0.25%, and they could vote no for the other 3, right?
Okay.
If you only want your money to go to infrastructure, you can select that. If you want your funding to go to nonprofits and non-departmentals, you could select that. So the 4 categories that we're looking at and these are all just proposed, is parks, programs, and pools, 0.25.
Okay.
Infrastructure and technology. No. Infrastructure and roads, 0.25.
Okay.
Technology and fire, so updates to fire stations, fire equipment, and technology throughout the whole city. Broadband, fiber. I'm not talking, I said yesterday on the news, I'm not talking about buying new cell phones or computers for employees, but
I can't get a new laptop with that.
No, but the internal technology that the city uses to function.
Like with dispatch and radios
has to be
and
updated every year, right?
Yeah.
It's not something that we cannot put money into.
Sure.
And then
Non-departmentals
and nonprofits on the fourth one. So the city funds about $6 million a year between all the contractual non-departmental, zoo, HSPPR, Nature Center, HARP,
the
chamber, state fair. And so that money would be specifically allocated and budgeted, CSAC, to that group of non-departmentals.
Okay. So last year the city ran a ballot measure for 1%. This is 4 separate ballot measures that all add up to 1%.
Yep.
But as we know, that ballot measure did not pass. Overwhelmingly did not pass. But if roads and infrastructure was important to me and fire and technology was important to me, I could just vote for those 2, which would be half
of the total.
Or I could vote for all 4.
Right.
Or I could vote for none of them.
Yeah.
I could do whatever I want with my vote. Okay. All right. So what was the feedback at the town hall, or what has been the feedback or discussion about it?
I think people like being able to choose what they want to tax themselves on.
Okay.
Than the overall 1%. I mean, nobody likes taxes, right? But if you want your services to continue, you have to pay for those services.
Sure.
And that's where we're at. And so I think people are going to be more susceptible to choosing which 0.25%
is important to them.
Yep.
Sure. Okay. Great. So there'll be more discussion about that as we continue with your town halls.
Yeah. We're just trying to get feedback to see what people think about it. We don't have to take it to city council till August.
Okay.
It's a deadline, so we'll start educating and getting feedback.
So next steps is the conversation and then drafting the ballot language, and then that will go before council to be approved in August, which then eventually determines the ballot for November. Okay, great. Anything else about your town halls that folks should anticipate or know about?
I don't think so. Just show up, ask questions. It's more of a interactive.
Yeah, it was more of a back and forth last week with folks. People asked very specific questions. Like how did paving roads work before, and where was that money allocated? How much money does the city
give to homelessness?
Yeah, spend on the shelter and the unhoused population. There were very specific questions from individuals. You could tell what they were
passionate about.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah, as you said, a little more interactive. No PowerPoint, no death by PowerPoint, which was nice.
Yeah,
I can appreciate that.
Yeah, I give a one-sheeter and it says all the information that we're going to talk about.
Great. So we do have another town hall tonight at the Rawlings Library. All the town halls start at 5:30. Tonight's will be at Brett Kelly A. Then we have one next Tuesday at Lucero Library, and we have one next Thursday at the YMCA. So you have one in each of the 4 districts. Folks can attend any of them. You don't have to live in the specific district to attend the specific town hall. But it's a good opportunity for folks to ask questions and then give input, like you said, of what's important to them.
Yep.
Cool. Anything else we should know about upcoming events?
There's a town hall tomorrow night.
Oh, yes. There is a town hall tomorrow night. Councilor Hernandez and Councilor Ruiz Gomez are hosting a town hall about Project Falcon at Hogue Amphitheater or Hogue Hall at PCC. Mm-hmm. That starts at 6 o'clock, and they're going to ask questions or answer questions about Project Falcon.
Right.
Are you going to attend, Mayor?
I plan to, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have some questions of my own that I'm going to ask City Council.
Great.
So it should be some very good back and forth, some very good public discussion that
sure.
I think the community is ready for the city to have.
Yeah, I know I saw on the Facebook comments and on Nextdoor, folks have a lot of questions, so that'll be good.
I mean, who wouldn't have those types of questions with such a large incentive package?
Sure.
I mean, something that of that magnitude should be talked about at great lengths for the community, so all of the community members kind of know what's going on, what their money is going to fund, what the return of investment is, and what the project, what kind of impacts it will have to our community. I think that if City Council wasn't having those conversations, somebody might be asking why that is. Why don't they want to have these conversations in public? Why don't they want to tell people what the manufacturer manufactures? It's a lot of money. Mm-hmm. It's a huge investment, not just for the city, but for the company. And so I think that we want to make sure that it's the right investment. If public comes out and says it's the right investment, then I would expect City Council to move forward. Mm-hmm. The public shows up and says, we have questions, and we want to know why you want to incentivize this company at this magnitude.
Sure.
I hope that City Council can answer those questions of why they want to do this.
Great. Okay. So we'll find out tomorrow night. Anything else, Mayor?
No, I don't think so. Am I missing anything?
I don't think so. I mentioned your upcoming town halls. I do want to have folks mark their calendars. Brian, you mentioned this last night at City Council. Saturday, June 13th, is the electronics recycling event. This is something that when we host our twice annual cleanup, everyone asks, can I bring my TV? What about my microwave? Yeah. And we say no e-waste. Electronics is e-waste, so bring your power cords, bring your microwave, your TV, your computer monitor, your cell phone, other electronics, whatever those are. And there's a full list on the city's Facebook page and our Nextdoor, and there's a $1 per pound recycling fee, but that's at RecycleWorks, 1595 Stockyard Road on Saturday, June 13th. From 8 a.m. to 1 p.m. So that'll be a great opportunity.
Next week, we have a pretty big week with Da Vinci.
We do, yeah.
Super.
Yeah, we'll have the grand opening on Friday.
Some tourism dollars and economic development dollars into our community. This is a project that everybody should get behind, go support, go check it out. There's going to be jousting.
Yeah,
on the Riverwalk.
They have a full schedule of events. So they have different performers every hour on the hour, Friday and Saturday.
Yep.
Jousting. There's going to be some food trucks, musicians, magic, like an Italian street fair, right?
Yeah,
here in the middle of Pueblo. So very exciting.
Very exciting. More people should be talking about this. Mm-hmm. We're going to talk about it. We're going to hype it up.
Yeah.
We're going to be there all week, so we're excited. Super excited this came into our community, and we're going to reap the benefits of it.
Yeah, very exciting. I did go yesterday by the museum, and it is just changing every day, and it's absolutely incredible, and I can't wait for the public to be able to finally go in and see everything. It's amazing. Yeah, very exciting. Cool. Anything else I'm missing there?
There's just so much I can't keep track, but
okay. But for another time,
day.
I guess. Okay.
For another day, we got meetings to get to.
All right. Sounds good. I want to invite the listener to find us on YouTube, Buzzsprout, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. You can also watch us on local channel 17. Remember, you can email us, mayor@pueblo.us, and we will see you next week.